If you've been hunting for a TV that can finally give you that true-to-life picture you see in movie theaters, and you also want something that won't lag when you fire up the latest games, stick around. I'm going to walk through the LG OLED C1 77-inch model and see whether it lives up to those expectations. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I'll break down what makes this set tick, and at the end I'll give you my honest take on the pros and cons so you can decide if it's worth the upgrade for your home entertainment. First off, the sheer size of the screen is hard to ignore. A 77-inch panel in a living room or media room gives you that immersive feel without needing to be glued to a wall. When you're watching a nature documentary, for example, the mountains and oceans just seem to stretch out beyond the edges, and you get a real sense of depth. That kind of size works especially well for families who want the whole crew to share a single viewing experience, because you don't end up squinting from the back of the room. The OLED technology itself is the backbone of the picture quality here. Unlike traditional LED panels, each pixel on this TV can turn completely off, which means the blacks are truly black rather than just very dark gray. In a dark thriller, that translates to shadows that are more detailed and less muddy, letting you pick up subtle textures on a character's clothing that you might otherwise miss. On the flip side, the colors pop with a vibrancy that feels natural rather than oversaturated, which is perfect for sports fans who want team colors to look authentic without looking like a comic book. One of the features that most people don't notice until they start using it is the AI-powered upscaling. If you've got a bunch of older 1080p DVDs or streaming content that isn't native 4K, the AI engine analyzes each frame and pulls extra detail, so the image looks sharper than you'd expect from the source. I tried watching a few classic movies from my collection, and the difference was subtle but noticeable. The edges were cleaner and textures felt more refined, which makes the viewing experience feel less like you're looking at a low-resolution file. For gamers, the C1 brings a dedicated gaming mode that reduces input lag and adds support for NVIDIA GSYNC compatible, which syncs the TV's refresh rate with the graphics card. Pair that with the 120Hz panel, and you get smoother motion during fast-paced shooters or racing titles. I hooked up my console and felt the response time drop compared with an older TV I was using. The action felt tighter, and there were fewer instances of the screen tearing that can be distracting. Plus, the TV is WiSA ready, so you can connect a wireless sound system for a full-blown gaming immersion without dealing with cables. Dolby Cinema support is another practical benefit, especially if you stream movies that are mastered for that format. When you enable Dolby Vision, the TV optimizes each scene for brightness and contrast, delivering a dynamic range that feels richer than standard HDR. Watching a recent blockbuster on this TV, the bright highlights never blew out, and the dark areas retained detail, making the overall picture look more balanced. It's a feature that feels premium but is surprisingly easy to activate through the built-in smart platform. Speaking of the platform, the ThinQ AI interface on LG's WebOS makes it simple to find your favorite apps, and the built-in Alexa lets you control the TV hands-free. I can say, "Alexa, turn up the volume" while I'm in the middle of a movie, and it works without me needing a separate Echo device on the same network. For anyone who likes voice commands to manage the thermostat, lights, or media, having that integration baked right into the TV can reduce the number of remotes you need to keep track of. Now, after spending a few weeks using the C1 daily, I can point out a couple of things I really like and a couple of things that might be a deal-breaker for some. The picture quality, especially the deep blacks and color accuracy, is a standout. It delivers a visual experience that feels both cinematic and crisp for gaming. The size of the screen, combined with the